So in this video, I want to give you 7 tips on how to fund your property investment. So the tip number 1 is have the right mindset. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, let me tell you, when I started out, it took me 10 years to do my first property because I had the wrong mindset. I had the wrong belief system. I thought that I had to have money first before I could do a property deal. And that's why it took me so long. The truth of the matter is if you get good at finding deals, if you find good quality property deals, then the money will usually come. Now, that's not just a throwaway statement, okay? What does it actually mean? Well, if you find a good quality deal and you don't have the money, there's ways that you can find money to do that deal or monetize that deal. You can pass that deal on to another investor who will pay you a finder's fee. You could joint venture with somebody and the money would come and you split the profits with them. Or you could find a private investor to loan you the money and you give a fixed rate return. I'm going to be talking about that as we go forwards, okay? So look, guys, this is one of the things. This took me 10 years because I thought I needed to have money and I didn't think about, and I didn't know this thing. I didn't have the right mindset, okay? Mindset is fundamentally important. And this is one of the things that we teach. I'm not just a property entrepreneur and a business coach. I'm actually a business psychologist. I've got a very extensive background in psychology. Why? Because I had the pain of having a limited mindset. I needed to fix myself and get myself in the right space. And this is also what we teach now, because without the right mindset, without the right belief system, without the right operating system between your ears, the belief system that you've got that got you here won't get you there. If you want to succeed at property, business, and entrepreneurship or anything in life, you have to change your mindset. You have to change your belief system. So you need to be open-minded and start thinking outside the box. So next thing I want to talk about is OPM. Other people's money. Now, it doesn't matter where you are on your journey. Now, when I started out, I had zero money. I actually invested. I used 0% credit cards to pay for a mastermind. Okay, because I had no money at the time, and I went and learned stuff. It was a great investment for me because I put things into practice and got it done. But if you haven't got money, or if you've got some money, or a bit short of cash right now, or even if you've got plenty of money, okay, eventually, if you use all that money to do deals, you're going to run out, okay? You're going to run out of cash. So it's important that you learn how to be clever, how to be creative, but also how to recycle your cash, okay? And I'm going to share a little bit about recycling your cash in a minute, okay? So you need to leverage money. You need to leverage other people's money, okay? You need to utilize your own money smartly, okay, and very efficiently. The traditional way of buying stuff, the very vanilla way, is that you make some money, you put it down as a deposit into a property, you let it tick over, and you wait for capital appreciation. That's not the best way to do things. That took me 8 years to buy 3 properties. The better way of doing things is learning how to buy and find the right kind of properties. So you're buying properties that are below market value, that are discounted, or that you can add value to, okay? If you do that, what you're doing then is you're creating equity straight away. So the money that you put in, you can refinance and pull the bulk of your money back out again. In an ideal scenario, you've got no money left in the deal or a little bit of money left in the deal, and then you can recycle your cash. And then you can go again, you can rinse and repeat, okay? So it's important that we understand those strategies. If you don't know how to do those things, then invest in yourself, because you know what? You need to get a good stream of leads coming into your property business to find the right kind of deals. If you can find good quality deals, which not many people can because they don't know how to do it, a lot of the masterminds and training courses and workshops, they teach people how to go to estate agents and look for deals there. Now, you can find deals through estate agents, but it's laborious, okay? And you're competing with everyone else. With everything that's going on at the moment, there's a bit of a buying frenzy here in the Southeast because we've got the stamp duty cut, which is going on until September. We've also got first-time buyers, and this 95% mortgage thing is creating this bit of frenzy. So when it comes to trying to find stuff on the open market, it can be difficult. Sometimes it can be soul destroying. That's why I hated doing it. That's why I became very good at direct to vendor marketing. If you don't know how to go to direct to vendor or how to put marketing systems in place, go and learn how to do that, because if you find those deals first, the money will come. That's something that we teach heavily inside the Reaching Excellence Academy. We've got courses on how to build out sales funnels and how to market to direct to vendors, okay? This is what I teach my students. This is what I do myself, because when you go direct to vendor, you're not competing with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You're in a stronger position because you can negotiate a better deal. You either negotiate a bigger discount or you can negotiate more favorable terms, which means you can do things like lease options, creative contracts, EDCs, that kind of stuff, okay? So you need to get yourself skilled up first off to find the right kind of deal. So when you find the right deal, the money will usually come, either in the way of a finder's fee, either in the way of a joint venture or partnership, or someone lending you money, okay? So the next thing we need to do is make sure that we are credit worthy. Make sure your credit file is in check. Make sure you're mortgage ready. So there's various websites you can go to online. There's Equifax, there's Experian, there's lots of other services out there that will provide you a copy of your credit file. Now you need to make sure your credit file is squeaky clean. There's nothing worse than going for a mortgage and then finding you've got a blip on your credit file. I've had it before. I went to go and get a mortgage, and lender I've used lots of times, and they said, "Oh, you got a default." And I said, "What are you talking about? I've got no default." Turned out one of the properties that we was refurbishing to flip, the bills were in my name. Obviously, I don't live with that property. The bills were in and out of it. It was a big project. They were there for several months. The gas bill and the water bill was left on the side. I didn't get it, and they were unpaid. Gave me a default. It was like a default for 70 quid or something. We had to go and pay it, and we had to put what's called a notice of correction on my credit file so that when it got flagged up, we explained the situation and it was all okay. But these things happen. You forget to pay your phone bill, or your credit card thing was late, whatever. These things happen. It's not the end of the world. You need to make sure, though, that you fix it and get it right, okay? You need to make sure that you can see what's on there, because there's nothing more frustrating than trying to go for a mortgage and not being able to get it because there's a blip on your credit file. I recently spoke with someone who had some credit problems and it was stopping them from getting longer term finance, and he found his dream house. Painful situation to be in. So make sure you've got your credit file all squeaky clean and that you are mortgage ready. If you're not sure about that, go and download a copy of your credit file, go to a good mortgage broker, show it to them, and they'll tell you if you're ready or not, or what they can do. Even if you've got small blips or defaults and things like that, there will be lenders out there in the market that will be okay with it, okay? You might have to change the rates a little bit, might not be as favorable, might not get the best rates, but you can still get deals across the line, okay? Next thing I want to talk about is if you've got savings. Using savings is always a good thing. So if you've got money sat in the bank, you can utilize that money for deposits. If you haven't got money sat in the bank, you may have equity in your own home. Now let's talk about releasing equity. So if you've got equity in your own home, you can possibly remortgage your house. There are mortgage products out there where you can get a drawdown, which means you've got like a facility where you can take money off the out of the equity of the house to a certain percentage. And then that monthly payment comes out of your mortgage, and then you can make the money back and put it back onto the house. So it's like a drawdown facility against your house. The other thing that you can do is if you've got a property that's unencumbered, there's no mortgage or debt against the house, you can get lenders that are bridging finance companies that will lend you money based on the security of your house. So in essence, you're using your house as collateral to go and do deals. One of my students, Maura, went and did this recently. She had an unencumbered house. She used that to get bridging finance to go and do deals. She did deals in a very clever way in terms of recycling cash. She was buying stuff, adding value, refinancing, and pulling all her money back out. She did 4 deals in about 18 months, made about £500,000 in profit in terms of equity and a 60 grand a year income, and pulled all of her money back out. So it's the right strategy, but leveraging the equity in her house, okay? Now, if you haven't got that, the next thing you could do is you can go to joint venture partners. There's going to be plenty of people out there that would be happy to joint venture for you. So what is a joint venture partnership? It's where 2 people come together. Now, you might be able to find the deals. Other people might have the money and not have the time to go and find the deal. So in that scenario, 2 people can come together, they can do a project together, and they can both profit from it. So each party will bring something to the table. You negotiate what you want. Normally it's a 50-50 split. Sometimes it can be more or less depending on the deal, but you get to negotiate what you want, and whatever both parties agree, that's what that joint venture looks like. So joint venturing is another way of doing things. If you don't want to get into joint ventures and you don't want to have something tied up long term, a better thing to do is get a fixed rate loan from someone. So at the moment, there's a lot of people who've got a problem, which is they've got money sat in the bank. The interest rates are so low right now, and there's talks of the interest rate going to a negative, which means people's money sat in the bank is just going to devalue because of inflation. So, there's people out there that have got money, but their money is dwindling, and they don't know how to invest. They don't have the time. They don't have the skills. Sometimes some people don't want to take the risk, or they're just too busy with other things. They'd rather give the money to someone and get a good rate of return on it. Anything 5, 6, 8, 10%, sometimes even more than that. If the deal's got enough meat on the bone, you can be healthy and generous to your investor or your lender, whoever's going to loan you that loan, and give them a healthy return. And normally what happens is when you do this and you've got a couple of deals going through, once you've done a deal and you've paid your lender back, and when I say your lender, I mean the person who's giving you a private loan. Once you've paid them back and they've got their interest, they're normally like, oh, wow, well, do you want to do it again? So they tend to stay with you so you can recycle that money again. So this is quite easy to do. Once you've got this across the line, you can start getting those supply of deals coming through. You start to get those supply of investors coming through. You marry the deals up and you marry the investors up, and you start building momentum in your business. If you want to know how to have the right business model and what I'm talking to you about here in a little bit more detail, go and watch my 4M's Property Masterclass. We'll put a link in the description or up on the screen somewhere. That will give you the entire business model and go into a lot more depth about what I'm talking about here. But I want to keep this video on topic about funding, okay? So you've got fixed rates of return, which is what you can do in terms of lenders. The other thing that you can do is you can then go to bridging finance, okay, or development finance. And again, if you're buying properties the right way, if you're acquiring them from distress motivated people, or you've got stuff that you can add value to, as long as there's value in it, you can go and use bridging finance. Now, bridging finance is short-term finance, which means it can be anything from 3 months, 6 months to 12 months. And at that point, you need to refinance onto a longer-term product, a buy-to-let product or commercial mortgage, whatever it may be. But there's some great bridging products out there right now. People say bridging is expensive. Well, it depends on what you're comparing it to. If you've bought a property the right way, you've got a big enough discount or there's enough meat on the bone, it's just a cost of doing business. So, in those good deals that you've got where there's enough equity and there's enough profit in it, you just offset the cost of that. It's just part of doing business, okay? The other thing that you can do is, again, you can get development finance, and this is for slightly bigger deals if you're going to do something commercial. We recently had a commercial project where we're going to have a shop with upper parts on it. Once we got the uplift on the value, which was we were going to secure the property with a option, we was then going to get planning permission. Once we then secured it and got the planning through, it would have increased the value, and we would have had a lender come in, a development finance lender, that would have given us pretty much 100% finance. Okay, they would have wanted us to have some skin in the game, so we would have put some money into the deal just to give them some comfort. But that's the kind of stuff that you can do. The next thing I want to talk about is creative strategies. It's really, really, really important that you understand how to do creative deals and structured deals. Most people think the only way that you can buy properties is just doing the vanilla types of transactions. It's really important that you learn how to do things like lease options, exchange with delayed completion, things like key access, which means you can exchange contracts, get the key, go into the property and actually start doing the work between exchange and completion. It's something that I've done many times before, and we use it on a bridging strategy, which means you can get a bridging company to come in and they'll value the property on the open market value, not the purchase price. So what that means is, you can buy it for maybe, let's say, £200,000. You go in and do some work. It's then worth, maybe £300,000. They'll give you bridging at the £300,000. That's what they'll value it at, and they'll give you maybe 60%, 65% of that, which means you've got less money in the deal, and then you can refinance afterwards. Okay, guys, the thing is, this is going to be really, really important stuff. If you understand, and again, it comes back to mindset again. If you can think outside the box and start thinking creatively, don't just do things the vanilla way. Do things the way that I'm suggesting to do. You're going to grow your property business very, very quickly. Okay. If you've got no money, it's not an excuse. That's the mindset thing. Like I say, I got caught out and I was trapped for 10 years thinking that, and I didn't do anything. If I knew what I'm sharing with you guys now, I would have been a multimillionaire way quicker. I would have been a multimillionaire in my late 20s. But unfortunately, I didn't know that stuff till later. Better late than never. So guys, get the right mindset. Mindset is fundamentally important. Use other people's money. Make sure you got your credit rating sorted out. You utilize the equity you've got in your home. You can use joint venture partners. You can do fixed rate return loans with people. Okay, you can use bridging finance and development finance, and also you can use creative strategies. So those are my tips for you guys. I hope you found that useful. Please put your comments below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.